In Galatians chapter 6, verse 8. For he that sows to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that sows to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Now that's a statement that shows what you do matters. You hear that? Yeah. Well, you know, it doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter this. God's going to do. No, right there he says, you sow to the flesh, you reap destruction. You sow to the Spirit, you will reap life everlasting. You decide. It's exactly what God told him in Deuteronomy 30. Behold, I put before you life and death, cursing and blessing. You choose. You choose. God doesn't choose it for you. You choose it. Amen? Amen? Then he says, look at verse 9. And this is the main point I want to get to. And let us not be weary in well-doing. For in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Now what does that mean? If you faint, see, too many people go through all these things that make them weary. And the problem is when they get weary, they faint. And then they've just gone through the problem for nothing. Because they don't reap because they fainted. Do you get that? So, and that's what people do, is they go through all the problems, and as they get right near to the end, they get weary, and they faint, and they quit, and then they don't reap, and then they turn and go, see, that stuff didn't work. No, it works, you just didn't go far enough. Mm-hmm. You know, that's like running a 440 race, but you only run 100 yards, and you go, nobody can win this. No, somebody does, whoever finishes. See, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. The key is you got to finish. If you don't finish, you faint. And if you faint, you don't reap. So you got to finish to reap. So if you're not reaping, guess what? You ain't finished. Does that make sense? You say, well, you don't understand. The fires are too hot. It's too tough. The problems are too big. No. You're not going through anything anybody else hadn't gone through. Amen. So keep going. Don't stop. Like we said last week, if you're going through hell, don't stop. Because you'll just stop in the middle of hell. Don't stop in the middle of hell. Keep on going, right? Don't get weary. And even if you do get weary, don't faint. Amen? And if you don't faint, you shall reap. See, this is sometimes the difference that why people come to me. It's because they don't see, they see this as words on a page. This is not words on a page. This is the voice of God. This is what he said. And his voice is eternal.